The preparation process was really difficult, honestly, um, because it is such a like uh, shocking moment to reconcile, and I think that like as much as it's probably going to shock audiences, it shocked us as um, actors, and anyone who's read the books, I think Diana just comes up with this massive bombshell, and then you're kind of well, you're shell shocked by it, aren't you? And the way to prepare for it is like, well, how do you inject a sense of like believability into it and humanity, and how do we get these characters through this massive moment? And there were a lot of competing ideas, and a lot of like a lot of it was a really difficult thing to like sort of put on screen, definitely. Well, there were a lot of discussions about to what extent do we show the intimacy. There were a lot of ideas about competing ideas about like how far do we take it. I think in the original script it went a lot further, and then there was a negotiation about, well, do we take it that far? I was happy to explore that, but I think that through kind of this process of negotiation, it was pared down a lot, and so to the point where we got to the lead up of it, sort of the preamble to how these characters have this union. There was improvisation that Kat and I did, and a lot of rehearsal of just sort of the non-speaking elements of how these two end up together. And I think a lot of that ended up on the cutting room floor, because maybe it's you need to get to this moment really quickly, or maybe you don't. I don't know. The way that this could have been shot is so many different ways. Like, it is such a weird and confusing thing. And I guess we just gave it our best shot. And there was a lot of improvisation leading up to a moment where there was sort of a red line on how far the intimacy could go. And then it kind of stopped there. No. No. I just remember that being just like a really sad moment, and I haven't watched too much of the cut because ultimately I think whatever I'm gonna watch is never gonna completely satisfy my creative ambition in trying to portray that moment on screen. I think it was a moment that caused me so much excitement, fear, and confusion that I don't think however it ends up, I would have been satisfied. But I just remember it being just a very, very sad moment between these two. There is a lot of aggression in the way that they express their intimacy, especially with Kat, Claire. I think like Claire redirects her or processes her grief through a lot of rage, and probably directs it at Lord John. I think Lord John is looking to find comfort, really, and he will persist through that rage to break down this wall of rage that Claire puts up. And I think that's how these two characters meet, and that's the sort of essence of their passion. So it's, even in talking about it, it is kind of confusing. As I said, it was sort of just improvised. So even to put words to it now is kind of weird. It is like narrating your own, sex life or something. Like, how would you do that? Then I did this, then I did that, and I felt that, and I put that there. Like, it just becomes weirder the more you kind of attempt to do that. That again was another interesting scene that, like, yeah, where we had to, yeah, like do things that were really uncomfortable for both characters. Like Claire, they both had to be in bed with each other. They both had to be naked. Um, and then Lord John had to talk about himself. And I think in this moment, Claire learns a lot about Lord John, and asks questions that I think surprise him in ways that also surprise her. His answers to the questions surprise her. I think she's, you know, starting to learn that Lord John is not just this person who pines for Jamie in a like very like one-dimensional sense. He is a three-dimensional person with needs and wants and loves and hopes and dreams that exist beyond the phrases. He even has a love or a liaison with somebody that isn't Jamie, and I think that is really surprising to Claire, that and how he navigates through that, the way that he explains to her as a man of his time that he negotiates that kind of relationship, and he opens up this new way of Claire understanding a relationship that I think a lot of like queer or gay people have had to understand about the way that they live in this world. Certainly from my research, I can't talk about it from first-hand experience, but the, you know, straight people are able to just sort of love and have relationships in, especially at this time and for many years up until recently, you know, express their love in really kind of conventional ways that is well understood by everyone around them. And to live on the fringes of that as a gay person, I think, and negotiate through not being able to have a relationship like that, I think is something that Claire can really learn about, the way that love is multifaceted, or the way that people experience relationships is very different. So yeah, Lord John has to sort of deal with the fact that he can probably never have a love union like Claire and Jamie's, but he is able to exist and thrive, I guess, maybe not thrive, but exist in a world where he has to have sort of short liaisons, and to have a love connection with somebody doesn't necessarily mean that he has to be with them all the time, or that it's so complex. The way that he describes it is like through the metaphor of the deer, like and something that he comes in and out of, and that where commitments are a little bit different. So Lord John has been married almost so many times in this show, but to him the commitment of marriage is I guess more sort of, he does it just for the practical sense. He's shocked when Jamie returns. He's relieved, he's fearful, he's confused, he's all the things that, he's just a flood of emotions, and he doesn't get any time to actually process any of that, because he's thrown immediately into another big dramatic moment where William finds out that that Jamie is his real father. I think he's something that he's deeply cared about and lost. Lord John says, I think in the episode, in the episode when he loses Jamie, is that although he's lost Jamie, he has a scene with William where he says, "I have all that I shall ever need," and he gives William a hug, and they have this tender moment. But as Jamie actually does come back, and so Lord John gets that, but then he immediately loses the thing that is all that he shall ever need, which is his son. It's, you know, you get one thing and another thing's taken away from you, and that's his relationship with his son is perhaps just as important and profound as his relationship with Jamie, and to lose that and to have those things, you know, in opposition, one coming in, one going out at the same time, is just throws him. And he now must fight to get back his son, and to repair that relationship, and to be the father that he believes he is to William, and to prove that to William.